everybody, I'm Matthew.
And I'm Michael.
And we're here making a video about travel. Something that we love to do together, which you've probably seen on our channel, is we love going to new places, discovering new things, experiencing the world together.
Together.
Can't wait to tell some stories. Drop some dirt.
Drop some dirt.
On each other.
Oh, I'm just
about to get
spill the
filthy.
tea. I actually want to know if you know the first trip that, the first big trip that I ever took.
The first big trip that you ever took?
Yeah, like by
with
myself.
Me? By yourself?
No.
Germany.
How old was I?
You're a senior in high school. Or junior.
I think I was in between junior and senior year.
Yes! I'm good.
That's pretty good.
Husband points.
and yours was Sweden?
Are we talking international or just big trip in general?
I guess international.
My first international trip was Sweden.
16?
No, it was just right after my senior year of high school.
Oh, okay.
Minus 5 points for Michael, plus 5 points for me. So the first major trip that we took together.
Oh, I think the first trip would be the road trip.
Oh yeah, yeah.
For sure.
Our first trip together happened just a couple months after dating, after starting to date. We met, and then a couple months later, I was moving out to Nebraska, and we took a road trip. So that was definitely full on.
That was like a 3.5 day.
3
all
days, 4
together.
days in the car, just
going for it.
You're having so many problems right now. The cup holder does not work for anything, so we're just gonna put these drinks in like this. There, works.
That trip was pretty well. I'm trying to think if there's anything that came up that was bad about that trip.
Yeah, you locked the keys in my car at Mount Rushmore. And we had to call AAA, and we were waiting in a parking lot for a couple hours for this car to come in.
But otherwise, I went pretty well.
What's happening right now?
The car is locked. The keys are in it.
You left the keys in the ignition.
We just called AAA.
They're on their way.
So it'd be an hour or less.
Michael's super happy about it, can you tell?
So mad.
It's not that bad. I mean, we get to hang out with the presidents for a good long time. Hey, presidents. I'm totally fine, Mom and Dad. I'm just moving across the country with some guy who I just met. By the way, I'm gay, and we locked the keys in my car.
Your parents have way too much trust in you, I think.
I'm sorry, Mom and Dad.
So that was our first big trip, and then international when we got engaged. No.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the first time that we traveled abroad together was when we got engaged.
We traveled a lot in the US together before.
We did, but that's because you had dental school. We had pretty small breaks. We didn't have a ton of time.
I feel like that trip was when we really
learned a lot about each other.
Well, maybe, but really we're okay, this is a trip that we're planning.
Yeah.
These are the tasks that people have.
Well, I mean, I would say this is a trip that Michael's planning, and type A was
yeah.
boom, we are putting everything on paper. We're gonna make sure we have the restaurants down we're gonna go to. We need to know everything.
Yes.
And we clashed a bit because my travel style was we'll figure it out.
He likes the big picture, a list of things to think about doing, and I like to know, okay, we're gonna go here.
Exactly what we're doing.
And then when we're there, we're gonna be close to this thing, so then we need to go here.
Go here and there and there and there.
Sometimes restaurants, you can just show up, but they won't have reservations, or you were supposed to make reservations, so then I would be okay, I definitely want to eat here.
But in my experience, I never ate at restaurants. I would just get a baguette or something on the street and then starve. Because
that's
not made of money.
So when he travels, you are
travel light, I eat light.
When you're by yourself, yeah, you're okay, I had some bread today.
I think I'm good.
You're definitely a good budget traveler.
Yeah.
So then,
where we planned on staying is another big aspect of that, because I, coming from the budget end, and Michael coming from the actually wanting to enjoy his trip end, I always wanted to be in hostels, and he's let's find an Airbnb to rent, or a hotel. And I'm $200, what? I'm not paying for that.
I do kind of like the aspect of having a private space in some way, shape, or form. Mm-hmm. But luckily we were traveling with enough people that I got over that, because we could book our own room. So it was basically like a hotel.
We really spent a lot of time planning that trip and our other trips and researching, figuring out what are the best hostels to stay at. And then we actually get like a really nice space with a really cool social atmosphere where we meet other people who are also traveling and then become friends with them.
I think it helps, like, I had never done hostels before and he had, so him being comfortable with the hostel
And kind of like preparing everybody.
experience and like knowing how it works is definitely helpful. At least the ones that we stayed at, I would 100% recommend it over spending more money on a hotel or Airbnb.
You can always figure out where we're staying at on my blog when we put stories.
Yeah.
The process of figuring out where we go is a mess. Like where we even go.
It's all about opportunity usually. Even our honeymoon.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, we got a good deal on the flight.
I mean,
like,
I think on that time,
might as well go.
we had this list of places we wanted to go to, searching all of these different places and figuring out what is going to be the cheapest during our honeymoon time. And we're literally like, that one's cheap, let's do it.
Yeah.
And for going to Spain, it was the same thing. We just found cheap flights.
From New York.
From New York.
Already going to be there.
There's a travel conference in New York. I wanted to go, and I'm like, well, cheap flight to New York, got it. Where can we go from New York? Got it. So boom, boom.
I think the best way that we plan trips is the Sweden and Denmark trip and then this upcoming Spain trip. Essentially, we just delegate like cities, and then each person takes that city and finds like where to go, what to eat, and kind of how to get in between.
That's a good point. Like divide and conquer. That's it. If you have a group of people going with you, divide and conquer. It's nice because I get to let go of a little bit of control. I'm planning the entire trip, and same for you.
But I'm still probably going to book all of the trains between the cities because I'm a control freak like that.
And it's helpful on some travel points like that because you can pick the seats together and things like that. So
yes.
It does work really well.
I think let's just go through like the craziest situations you've been in.
I mean, the night that I got my laptop stolen and almost got knifed in Amsterdam, or
That one's pretty bad.
the night that I like spent the entire night in a bathroom in Scotland because I had food poisoning. I was on a boat in Croatia and this guy got high off of cocaine and kicked down a door.
Oh man, that's amazing. Why didn't you tell them why you never fly Ryanair?
I forgot! Because I don't fly Ryanair anymore, but I might in the future, who knows. Because I was in the lavatory and the stewardess, flight attendant, like broke in through the door and made me get up and go back to my seat. She told me I needed to ask her before going to the bathroom, and I like literally wasn't done pooping, so I sat in my own shit for the rest of the flight. And then I had to go through customs in London, and thank God I had like an extra pair of underwear in my bag. But that was like one of the worst experiences of my life.
It sounds pretty bad.
It was messy in all aspects of the word. I don't know, in comparison to some of those experiences when I've traveled by myself, like our travel is a cakewalk.
It's probably because I plan so well.
Or because he's willing to shove out a little bit more money than I am.
So that people don't stab me.
I just get into really precarious situations in order to save money. Apart from all of like the tragic, stressful situations that happen, tragic. But things that happen that are kind of like a little bit more removed from our control, we've also created a lot of stressful situations for ourselves.
Yes, like...
Where are we gonna eat?
That... Actually, getting to different places, like I remember in Thailand it was a big like, well, are we gonna take a tuk-tuk, or are we just gonna hail a taxi, or are we gonna try and use this like kind of weird Uber-like app?
Like we get so overwhelmed with options that we just kind of freeze up and then we don't know what to do.
And then if it doesn't happen like within like 2 minutes, then we get really millennial and are like, I'm not immediately satisfied.
I am so hungry. Feed me now. I think a big thing with travel and traveling with your significant other or traveling with a group of friends, people tend to ignore their self needs more so in social situations in elongated periods of time. So for me, I might ignore the fact that I'm hungry, or that I might need a little bit of alone time, or that I might need to sleep. Being sensitive to that, and then being able to step away from the group and be like, I'm gonna go take care of myself for a little bit.
I think the other thing too that comes with traveling and like being stressed like that is feeling you have to see every single thing, like every single major attraction.
There's a lot of pressure.
And if you don't, then you feel like you didn't use your time well enough
you
or something.
Failed,
Yeah, and then like you turn travel into something stressful, so I think...
You get back and people are like, oh, you were there, but you didn't see what?
Yeah, I feel like it's like stepping back and like sitting in a cafe for like 30 to 45 minutes, just like sipping an espresso or like having a bakery item, whatever, a pastry.
And
like,
maybe it's not even the best bakery item.
Right,
Maybe
not
it
like-
sucks. But like whatever.
It's like sitting and this like being in it. for a
Being
little
okay
bit.
with it.
Mhm.
Yeah. We do love traveling together, but don't you ever think for a second that we don't fight while we travel or argue or get upset with each other?
Like every time.
Like every time.
Sometimes it's like, Matthew, what are we doing? He doesn't want a camera in his face.
Well, when you're tired and like starving and
just like-
you hate everyone, why are you putting that freaking camera in my face? So many times on our video vlogs, I'm just like making a face and I'm like, I know what that means. I hope nobody else knows what that means. Oh, good times.
So I guess now we just need to figure out where we're gonna go next.
Where do we go? So future travel plans for us, we are going to Spain.
And I've never been. All the tapas.
We might be going to London in late September. Yeah, we're definitely going to New York. So that's twice this year.
So that's how we get to Europe. It's like we have something to do in New York, and then we just go boop over to Europe.
Yeah,
And
because
something
flights
to
are
do in
cheap from
Yeah.
Europe or from New
From
York.
Europe.
So
But where do you want to go?
Oh my
where, like,
God.
haven't you been? That's what people want to know.
I want to go to Costa Rica so bad.
I've actually been.
I
and
know
you've never
have.
been.
Yeah. So I really want to go.
Hey.
I want to go back to Japan immediately, and I want to see China and India everywhere. But
Okay.
China and India are like huge up on the list.
Those
'Cause-
are like your top ones?
yeah, because we've never been to either of those cultures or anything around there. So we've only flown into Hong Kong, but that was at the airport, and I like that's not even the rest of China. It's so different. I really want to experience China. I really, really, really want to spend some time in India.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like looking at you like.
I just like know that those are like the two spots that I talk to people that have traveled and they've gotten like really bad stomach issues. So I'm just like,
Totally worth it.
I really want to go to New Zealand and Australia. I almost want to see like the UK. I've like never been to the UK.
I think that's crazy.
I know.
Because you've been to Europe
I know, but it's never
multiple
been to the UK.
times.
So where they speak English is where I want to go next. Super adventurous. Hey.
Like our places are so different from what we want to see and go to.
But it's probably good because then I can get excited about maybe the easier ones to travel to, and you can get excited about the ones that maybe are a little bit more difficult.
I mean, it's just a wonder that we travel well together. But it's surprising because our tastes are so
Very
different.
I like safe.
And I don't know what I like.
Matthew likes dark alleys.
Nobody likes dark alleys unless it's Diagon Alley, or I'm sorry, Nocturne Alley.
See, that's why I want to go to London.
I think overall, with like how much we do travel, this is really like a big part of our lives. And
We'll try and make it a big part of our lives.
Yeah.
As much as we can.
but in a way, it's kind of what brought us together. You traveled to Seattle, and then I traveled to Nebraska, and then I moved to Nebraska, and then we started like experiencing different parts of the country. Both of us, it's been a huge interest of ours since an early age, and it's one of our favorite things to do together. So, which reminds me. On my blog, mattontherun.com, we post a whole bunch of stories about our travels together, so make sure to check out that. I'm putting the link and all the information down below. So click it, read it, subscribe, newsletter, everything. But that's one of our favorite things to do coming back from travels is putting together a comprehensive blog and going over like all of the must-see places and things like that.
I think it's so helpful because we use blogs
We use that when we find our trips.
to
yeah.
like, oh, this person stayed here, had a good experience. Cool.
Sometimes I
got
do
it.
everything like word for word on the blog. I'm
Yeah.
like, there's my itinerary. So check those out because those are really helpful, especially if you're heading anywhere that we've headed.
So we want to know from you, where have you been? What's your favorite places to go?
And what inspires you to travel? Well, that's it. That's the video. Ooh,
Are you hitting the dinosaur?
sorry.
And this. What is that?
Hit England.
Hit England.
Thanks everybody for watching. This has been fun. Can you tell them to like, comment, and subscribe?
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Hit the button. We'll see you guys next time. Bye. Are you done?
No, you're just like, and then you're just like, okay, see you next time.
I'm trying.
I'm sure you'll find something in there.
Who said I'm editing? We're done with the video. Yay!